Right now, at this exact moment, there is a Chrysler dealership in Ohio sitting on 73 unsold vehicles with an average lot age of 214 days. 214 days. That's 7 months of a car baking in the sun, tires flat spotting, battery draining, waiting for a buyer who isn't coming. The manufacturer incentives on some of those units have crossed $8,000. They are paying people to take these cars, and people still aren't taking them. That's not a slow quarter. That's a brand in free fall. And Chrysler isn't alone. What I'm about to walk through is 17 car brands that are showing measurable, documented signs of collapse heading into 2026. Some of these are in immediate danger, some are bleeding slowly, and a few of them are going to surprise you because they still look healthy from the outside. If you own any of these brands, this information directly affects your wallet. Stick with me. Before I run the list, let me explain what collapsing actually means, because it's not binary. Brands don't go from healthy to dead overnight. There's a spectrum. Stage 1 is market erosion. Sales are declining, the lineup is shrinking, dealers are closing. Your car still gets serviced, parts are available, but resale is declining. Stage 2 is strategic retreat. The parent company is pulling resources. Factories are closing. Investment in new models has stopped. Depreciation accelerates because smart buyers see the writing on the wall. Stage 3 is existential threat. The brand may not exist in 24 to 36 months. Once a brand announces closure, the resale floor drops out overnight. I've organized these 17 brands across those 3 tiers. We're starting with the most urgent, Chrysler. Let me be direct. Chrysler currently sells one vehicle, the Pacifica minivan. The 300 is dead. The Voyager is gone. The Airflow EV concept has been delayed, restructured, and at this point, nobody in the industry believes it's coming. Stellantis has given zero indication that significant investment is heading Chrysler's way. When a brand has one aging product and no confirmed pipeline, that's not a car company. That's a nameplate waiting for a memo. If you own a Chrysler, your resale window is measured in months, not years. Fiat. In the United States, Fiat is functionally dead already. The 500X was discontinued. The 500e exists in limited numbers in select states. Dealer presence is virtually non-existent. Fiat may survive in Europe and South America. In North America, it's a ghost. Maserati. This one stings because the brand has genuine heritage. But the Grecale has underperformed dramatically. The Gran Turismo is beautiful, but priced into a segment dominated by Porsche. Global sales have declined for consecutive years, and Maserati resale values are already in freefall. A 3-year-old Ghibli is losing 50 to 60% of its original MSRP, Jaguar. Jaguar announced a complete brand reimagining, killing every existing model to relaunch as an ultra-luxury electric brand. The F-Pace, E-Pace, F-Type, XF, all discontinued with no direct replacements. Jaguar is telling its current customer base it doesn't want them anymore. Whether the relaunch succeeds is irrelevant if you own a current Jaguar. The dealer network is contracting, parts pipelines for discontinued models will thin, and resale values are already sinking. Infiniti. Nissan's luxury division has been in decline for years. The Q50 hasn't been meaningfully updated in nearly a decade. Nissan's own financial instability, factory closures, leadership turnover, declining market share, means Infiniti is fighting for resources inside a parent company that's fighting for survival. When the parent is drowning, the luxury sub-brand gets dropped first. Now, let's move to Tier 2. These brands aren't on the edge of disappearing, but they're actively retreating. Dodge. The muscle car identity that defined Dodge is gone. Challenger and Charger V8s are discontinued. The Hornet is a rebadged Alfa Romeo. The electric Charger Daytona has received a mixed reception. Dodge is caught between an audience that loved what it was and a future that doesn't look anything like it. The nameplate survives. The soul doesn't. Alfa Romeo. Gorgeous cars. Terrible sales. The Giulia and Stelvio are aging without confirmed replacements. The North American dealer footprint is tiny and shrinking. Stellantis treats Alfa as a niche brand, which means niche investment, which means it slowly starves. Buick. Buick sells well in China. In the United States, it's a brand without a clear identity. The Encore GX and Envista are fine vehicles that nobody gets excited about. GM keeps Buick alive for the Chinese market, but the American dealer network is quietly consolidating. If you own a Buick, watch the dealer count in your area. That's your leading indicator. Mitsubishi. The Outlander is actually decent, which makes this more sad than anything. But one good SUV doesn't make a brand. The Mirage is embarrassing. The Eclipse Cross is forgettable. Their partnership with Nissan was supposed to bring scale. Instead, they're tethered to a partner that's sinking. Mitsubishi won't die suddenly. It'll just gradually become irrelevant until someone notices it's gone. Lincoln. Ford's luxury brand is in a strange place. The Navigator still commands respect, but Ford killed the planned Lincoln EVs to redirect resources toward the main brand. When a parent cannibalizes its luxury division's future to fund its own survival, that tells you the priority. Lincoln will likely continue as a trim level rather than a real luxury brand. Volkswagen in the US. VW sells well globally, but in America they're struggling. Ford has underperformed against the Model Y and Ioniq 5. Market share has been declining, and factory closures in Europe signal broader financial pressure. American VW owners aren't in immediate danger, but resale values are softening. Now, Tier 3. These brands are not collapsing in the traditional sense. They're showing early cracks. I'm not telling you to sell tomorrow. I'm telling you to pay attention. Nissan. The financial situation is serious. Factory closures globally, thousands of layoffs, a failed merger discussion with Honda that exposed how desperate things have gotten. The new models are improved, but the debt load is significant. If things don't improve in 18 months, Tier 2 is where they're headed. Ford. The truck and SUV business is strong. The F-150 prints money. But Ford's EV division lost nearly $5 billion last year. That's not a typo. They're funding those losses with profits from the combustion side. Ford isn't collapsing, but it's under more financial stress than most people realize. BMW. This might be the most controversial pick. BMW still sells well, but subscription features, increasingly complex electronics, and an EV lineup losing ground to Tesla and the Koreans are eroding the brand equity that justified premium pricing. BMW's depreciation curve has steepened over the last 3 years. That's an early signal. Audi. Similar to BMW, arguably worse on the EV front. The e-tron lineup hasn't captured projected market share. The combustion lineup is strong today, but depreciation is creeping up, particularly on the electric models. Land Rover. Beautiful, capable vehicles plagued by reliability problems that have never been adequately addressed. Owner forums tell a different story than the marketing. Electrical gremlins, software issues, dealer experiences that don't match the price tag. Land Rover isn't disappearing, but their position as a premium brand is harder to justify when a Toyota Land Cruiser costs less and lasts 3 times as long. Acura. This is more about missed opportunity than active decline. Honda's luxury division should be thriving, but Acura's lineup lacks the identity to compete with Lexus or Genesis. The Integra revival was underwhelming. Acura isn't in danger, but it's drifting toward irrelevance through indifference, and that's its own kind of collapse. Here's why all of this matters to you personally. When a brand enters decline, depreciation accelerates, and it accelerates fastest before the general public realizes what's happening. By the time mainstream news is running a story about a brand shutting down, the resale floor has already dropped. The smart money moves early. Fleet managers are already adjusting their purchasing away from several brands on this list. Lease residual values are declining for nearly every brand I've named. When the residuals drop, your trade-in value follows. That's not speculation. That's how the market works. If you own a vehicle from a Tier 1 brand, check your resale value today. Not next month, today. Know what your exit number looks like so you can make an informed decision rather than a panicked one. 17 brands. Some on life support. Some just starting to show symptoms. The common thread is this: the automotive industry is going through the most significant structural shift since the transition from horses to horsepower. Not every brand is going to make it through, and the ones that don't will take their owners' resale values with them. You don't need to panic, you need to be informed. And now you are. I'm building the counterpart to this. The brand's actually gaining market position and resale value heading into 2026. The brands you should be buying into, not selling out of. Subscribe so you catch that when it drops. And tell me in the comments, which brand on this list surprised you the most? And if you own one of these, what's your plan? Those conversations are where the real insight lives.